It's Crystal from Adventuring with Crystal, bringing to you today something that is really near and dear to my heart, and one of the reasons why I became a travel agent, and that is for moms like us to actually enjoy the vacations that we go on, which doesn't always happen. I have a picture in my head of a snapshot from our first family trip to Disney World. My oldest was about 5. We had a baby. We were traveling with my mother-in-law, with my sister, and my niece, who was also 5. And I see Lucy with a big smile on her face, but her eyes are rimmed red from crying, and it had just been a horrible day, and I didn't know how to fix it. I had in my mind the way it was supposed to go, and the way it was supposed to go wasn't happening, and I was melting down, she was melting down, the baby was melting down. There were just so many expectations that weren't being met that I didn't know how to fix. And in the subsequent trips that we've taken, I've figured out that there is a little bit of a formula to being able to have a trip where you're really super into it without being burned out. I'm going to share a few of those tips with you today. The first is that you're going to want to manage those expectations, and that means planning your trip far enough in advance that you have time to really plan and get to know your itinerary before you get there. I strongly suggest, no matter what age your kids are, to get them involved in this process and to get your spouse or your partner or the people that you're traveling with involved in this. Often it becomes one person who is the person who is in charge of planning and executing a vacation, and no one else really knows what's happening until they get there, and then you become kind of the cruise director, but you're not having fun because you're directing and you're managing all of the expectations. Get everyone involved from the get-go. Ask them what they want to do. Talk about the places that you're going to see. Find out what trip excursions are available and what museums and parks and all of the things. Give yourself plenty of time to do that and manage the expectation that everything's going to be perfect. It is going to be perfectly imperfect. Things are going to go wrong. It's going to rain when it should be sunny. The train's not going to be on time. You're going to have a layover. Our trip in Greece, we ended up sitting on the tarmac in Athens for 6 hours on the way to go home. It was a mess, and I still have fond memories of that time because I knew that something was going to happen, and I had managed that expectation, and we were still together in it. And we all knew that this was something that could happen. The second thing is that when you get there, make sure that you give yourself plenty and plenty and plenty of time for just being there. One thing that you'll want to do is to make sure that you purchase skip the line tickets for any and everything that you can. I know they're going to be more expensive, and the time that you spend in lines is going to be well worth the money that you spent for those skip the line tickets. Especially if you have kids, younger kids, there's just no way that you're standing in a line for 3 hours to get to Buckingham Palace, or to go up the Eiffel Tower, or to climb to the top of the Statue of Liberty and keep them entertained that entire time. You could have spent that time seeing something else. You could have spent that time playing in the pool at the hotel, which is what we know little kids actually want anyway. So please think about that. The other tip that I have is to spend time every morning going over what the plans for the day are. They could change, but it doesn't matter. I know that if I don't tell my girls, even as teenagers, what the plan is for the day, why we've got that plan, and how we're going to execute that plan, then the day is not going to go as well. They don't like surprises for different reasons because I have such different personalities. If during that day we have to change plans, I know I need to communicate that with them, why we're changing, what the change is, what they can expect after. There is no such thing as over communicating when it comes to something like a big trip, especially if you are someplace far away where the culture is different, the language is different, everything is different, the food is different. They need to be able to find and latch on to that is something that is normal or expected for them. Finally, when you get home, don't just jump back into your routine. That is what we all want to do because we've been out of routine and it feels comfortable. And I am not saying don't have bedtimes back reinstated, because that is what you want to do. Do the laundry, but bring in ways to keep that vacation feeling. You felt connected to your people. You were a group on a vacation in a strange land or a strange place, and you got the opportunity to connect with one another in ways that you hadn't before. Capitalize on that. Bring in nights where you talk about your favorite memories. Bring up pictures and put comments on those pictures. Build a memory book. Cook foods from that place, or go to restaurants in your hometown that serve that kind of food. Or listen to music. One of the things that I do for my clients is give them a Spotify playlist or Apple playlist of music, because music will bring you right back to that place. So if you didn't have music from the place, like native music, which I think is excellent, and try to find it at any cost, then at least listen to the playlist that you had while you were there, so that you are tied back to that memory. It's going to be so visceral for you. Finally, my biggest tip for you is to work with a travel advisor. I have discovery calls for 15 minutes where we just get to talk to each other. You tell me what your ideas are, and we just get to know each other. It's no strings attached. Just let's chat. And I'd love to schedule that with you. Momsy, you don't have to do it all on your own. One thing that I'm learning as a business owner is that there are things that I'm going to have to give up. I'm going to have to give away some things, and we hate that because society has told us if you can't do all of it, then you're a failure. But you don't want to go on a trip and feel like you're in purgatory because you have to hurry up and wait and manage everything yourself. You want to have a trip that is a wonderful time for you to connect and be a part of your family, and have them also have a really wonderful time without a mom who is burnt out and hating vacation, or so exhausted when she comes home from vacation that she's not functioning then. So please call me, call someone that can help you with this. And if you want to plan out because you're a planner, then do that, but at least you have someone that you can talk to, that you can bounce ideas off of, that's an expert in the field and can help you manage the things that maybe you have some questions about. I can't wait to talk to you, and I'll see you next time.